and welcome to this week's Intentional Focus, where each week we're working on focusing on Jesus Christ and maturing in our faith. As we focus on Jesus Christ, we find certain truths in the Word of God that He exemplified for us that we are called then to live out in our lives as well. One of those is practicing forgiveness. That's our theme this week, and we find in the Bible in Ephesians chapter 4, verse 32, "And be ye kind one to another, tenderhearted, forgiving one another, even as God, for Christ's sake, hath forgiven you." Now, when we start talking about the topic of forgiveness, it really brings up hurt, because the need to forgive means that you have been harmed in some way. You've been hurt. It could be verbally, it could be physically, it could be emotionally. There are many different ways in which we are hurt, and we want to get even many times in our flesh. Or, more than that, we want to get over on them. We want to make it worse for them. But what often happens is we just make it worse for us. And that's where the need to forgive comes in. Oftentimes, the way this works is someone will hurt us. It could be in a small way, it could be in a large way, and they move on with their life, and they continue on life as usual, but we don't. We live in that hurt, and we live in that harm, and the next thing you know, if we're not careful, we begin to develop bitterness. And then in our bitterness, we become wrong. Now, initially, we weren't in the wrong. Initially, we were the ones who the wrong had been committed against, but as time goes, we allow that hurt us to create a greater problem within us. I don't remember the person who made this statement, but there was someone who made the statement, I forgave someone in order to release them from the chains, but found that it was me that was in bondage. And the truth is, many times we are held back and we are held in bondage, not necessarily by the hurt that was perpetrated against us, but rather by the refusal to forgive. Now, one of the things that we understand is forgiveness is not acting like nothing ever happened. Forgiveness is not overlooking the wrong that was done, but forgiveness is taking that wrong and the retribution for that wrong out of our hands and placing it in the one who rightly has the ability to execute the justice. Ultimately, as a believer, we take our hurt and we give it to the Lord, and we, of course, release that out of our hands into His hands, because He's much greater at handling the situations than we are. Now, of course, if we're talking about illegal activities that's taking place, we also take that and we place it into the hands of the authorities here on earth who've been put in place to handle those situations. But many times it's something as simple as a cross word that we hear and then it hurts. And now we are held in bondage to that hurt because of our refusal to forgive. I encourage you to not only think about this topic of forgiveness this week, but I pray that you will go to the Lord in prayer and that you will ask God to reveal those in your life that you need to forgive. Now, it might be somebody that you have the opportunity, it would be beneficial to go to and extend forgiveness. It could be someone just within your heart that you need to forgive, and let go of that and let God take care of it. I pray this week you'll stay focused, and I pray this week that you'll seek out how you need to practice forgiveness in your life.